This was absolutely amazing. All Out 2025. These matches, should I say, were absolutely incredible. We had a great match card for All Out 2025. I have everything set out here in my arena. If you saw my last video, I actually don't know which will be uploaded first. YouTube's been messing me up with taking a long time to upload here lately. But at the time of recording, my video talking about the AEW and Jazzwares, their license deal and whatever. If you want to go see about that and go hear me talk about the news about it, the tweets and the Instagram post about it, and who I think was going to take over, go check out the other video. But we do have the arena set up. I've been working on this most of the day. But without further ado, we're going to jump into the matches. Now, there wasn't really a pre-show any. There was mainly just Collision instead. But we are going to go ahead and start off with any match I want to, I guess. So we are going to go ahead and start off with Riho versus Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship. Now, I do not have a Mercedes Moné action figure. I do plan on getting one in the future, though. It would be cool to see a gear of what she was wearing at All Out. Pretty cool gear. But Mercedes Moné did retain the belt. Now, my prediction, go check out my full predictions video to see how I did on the predictions. But I will go ahead and tell you, I did pick for Riho to win this. I figured she was going to have a good comeback and go ahead and win the championship. But she wasn't able to do that. We are going to zoom in right there. And so I just got her posed over there and disappointed. She's disappointed at herself for not being able to win the championship. But they did put on a heck of a match. It was a little bit of technical wrestling in there too, so that was pretty cool to see. Great match all around. Next matchup we have here is going to be Eddie Kingston versus trying to think of who it was now. Big Bill versus Eddie Kingston. Big Bill didn't think Eddie Kingston would show up, but everybody kind of figured he would. I'm going to take this off the tripod real quick. That way I can move the phone around a little bit better. I do have this big old tripod, so it's a little bit harder to get down here. But we do have Big Bill right there, just kind of mad. He's pointing at him. He's kind of disappointed that he lost as well, because Eddie Kingston did pick up the win. He showed up. He's wearing the funny shirts again. He was wearing a Claudio Sucks Eggs shirt, which was really funny to see him wear. And then Hook, we did see him talking in a video that thanking the ops for their help and everything, but he is going his own way, and might team up with some people, and it looks like he's gonna be teaming up with Eddie Kingston, because after the match, Brian Keith, the Bad Apple, came out there. I don't know if he's still going as the Bad Apple, but he come up and started beating up Eddie Kingston from behind on the back and whatever. And then Hook's music played. The Hook signal went off. He came out there and choked him out and tossed him over the Eddie for a spinning back fist to knock him out there. But Big Bill did lose this match, and we have him just sitting there pointing. He's pretty mad. He lost, and then we have Hook and Eddie Kingston there. So it looks like they're going to be teaming up. Eddie's going to be showing Hook some different ways and different techniques of fighting and stuff, and they're just going to be teaming up together. Which is really cool to see, because I love Eddie Kingston's style and I love Hook's style, and to see those two mix with each other is going to be great. The next match here is going to be Adam Copeland and Christian Cage here went up against FTR right here. Now we do have them just kind of sitting, pointing. This was a great match. They did say that, not Cash Wheeler, but Dax Harwood did have a broken nose. He was wearing a piece of tape over it, but wasn't a big piece of tape or nothing, but it was a little piece of tape covering his nose and whatever. But FTR picked up the win. I was shocked by this. Truly, I was not expecting that to happen. I was expecting Christian Cage and Adam Copeland to pick up the win, but they didn't. We had Stokely coming out there, and he was, disrupting the place, and we saw music playing. We were thinking it was going to be Bubbles, because we saw him meeting Adam Copeland and Christian Cage meeting hockey players and met Bubbles in the back. But it wasn't, and it turned out it was Beth Phoenix. She ran down there, ran down the aisle and speared Stokely Hathaway. Met him in the center right there. And then after the match, after FTR picked up the win, they did handcuff Adam Copeland to the bottom rope, take out Christian, and then Beth Phoenix was trying to get her husband out of the handcuffs. He was telling her go, to run, to get far away, and then she gave him a kiss and then turned around and started fighting off FTR, but they did grab the upper hand, and they gave her that spike destroyer thing, whatever that, I can't remember the name off the top rope, but it was pretty brutal, and so pretty sure we're going to have another rematch here. I don't see why not. They had a great match, nothing wrong with it. Then the next match here, we are going to go ahead and look at the Hurt Syndicate right here. They went up against Ricochet and the Gates of Agony. I can't remember what their name was. Y'all have to tell me in the comments, but Hurt Business lost. I was expecting them to get back at Ricochet and them, but they didn't. Ricochet and them were able to pick up the win. This was a great match. Loved seeing MVP get back in the ring. He done good. He actually stayed in the match for a long time. He actually done a lot of work in that match. And it looked really great seeing him in the ring. The crowd loved it. The fans just absolutely loved MVP and seeing him back. But they had a great match. But all in all, I just have the Hurt Syndicate right here just kind of beaten up, and they're talking backstage, just trying to figure out what they're going to do next. Maybe we might see a rematch in the future. Maybe not. Next match here was Konosuke Takeshita versus Kazuchika Okada versus Dorada. I can't remember his name. But right here, this was a great match. They all didn't wrestle at the ring at the same time, really. One of them would kind of leave the ring, and two of them would fight, and then one of them would leave, and then two of them would fight. So that was kind of weird, but they did work together for a little bit, and then for like a few minutes, and then it just came to an end. They started fighting each other. It was great. Don Callis was on commentary. I'm trying to get a head sculpt done for him. That way I could paint it. I haven't got one yet. But he was loving it. He was thinking that it was a friendly fight. But Konosuke Takeshita ended up picking up the win and retaining the belt. I did lose this prediction. I did say Kazuchika Okada was going to lose and Konosuke Takeshita was going to win. But Kazuchika Okada does retain. And after the match, they kind of mad at each other. They're kind of getting up in one another's face. Don Callis, he's still laughing and everything. He's thinking that they're fine. He's thinking that they're joking, that stuff like that. But they are definitely, something's going on here. Don't know. I'm pretty sure Konosuke Takeshita is probably going to turn good here is what I'm thinking. But we do have the commentary pointing out that they are still not happy with one another, and Don Callis is kind of just a little bit delusional there, and that he doesn't know that there's actual heat between these guys. But I'm pretty sure we're going to see some more stuff backstage and some more matches right here as far as this goes. And then next right here, we do have the next match, which is Mark Briscoe versus MJF in a table and tax match. This match was incredible. This match was a brawl. I've never seen so many tacks in one match in my life. Started out, they both got in the ring. Then real quick, MJF rolled out the ring to the outside, stayed there. And there were buckets of tacks at each corner of the ring. And since MJF wasn't getting the ring, Mark Briscoe took those buckets and dumped them all out through the center of the ring, all throughout the arena, or out through the ring. And it filled the whole ring. They took a few bumps and stuff in it. A few Alabama slams. Mark Briscoe had some tacks in the back of his head, which looked painful. They pulled out a table in the end. They did go through a few tables, I believe, and then in the end, they pulled out a table in the ring, put a crap ton of tacks on it. Mark Briscoe dove through it on top of MJF. I'm pretty sure he done something else. He done the J Driller and then pinned him, and Mark Briscoe picks up the win just like I said he would. The next match up here, we have the tag team ladder match. This was the Young Bucks versus Brodito versus Jet Speed versus the Don Callis family, which was Josh Alexander and Hechicero. This was a great match. I knew this match was not going to disappoint, and one of the best matches on the show, in my opinion, because I had a lot of fun watching it. Speedball went through a ladder. Brody King put him through it. He done a insane move to Hechicero. Y'all have to go to Instagram and see some of the replays. But it was a great match. Some nasty bumps during that match. It was pretty rough. But I did get another prediction right here, which was Brodito retaining the belts. They did retain the belts. They knocked everybody out, put them all out, and then Bandito went up there, grabbed the belt, dropped it down to Brody King, and then pulled off the other one, and they picked up the win there. And then after, we did see the Young Bucks standing out in the ring. I didn't know what was quite going on, but I knew something was going to happen. I was like, are they about to get mad at one another? Are they about to turn on one another? What's going on? Because they kept the camera on them way too longer than expected. Nobody was around. And then we see somebody slide in the ring, and I'm like, holy crap. Jack Perry is back. Now, I'm going to have to tell you, I'm a fan of Jack Perry. I'm a fan of Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I've been a fan of him for a long time. I love his work. A lot of people aren't a fan, but I'm a big fan. And he got in there. Of course, they teamed up before Jack Perry left, but we did see him. He got in the ring. He slid in the ring, looked at him. He flipped him off and jumped on him, started beating him up. And then they pulled him off, and then they gathered themselves, gave him a double super kick, and knocked him down. And then they were going for the BTE trigger, I believe it was, and he got up next to the ropes, but he was smiling, he was grinning, and I knew something was up. I did not know yet. And then I was like, wait a minute. Kill Switch has turned good. We saw him leave Kip Sabian, and I'm like, Luchasaurus is coming back. Now, if you saw the video package of it before Forbidden Door, when he returned, it was, I believe, Wednesday before Forbidden Door, we saw him being saved, like reborn in a way, where he was on a stretcher, and we saw this doctor or person giving him shots in the arms and everything. We saw him vitals. He rose up, and you saw him come down to the ring. And then when Jack Perry was in the ropes smiling, I was like, are we about to see Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus get back together? Then the lights went out. I was expecting him to show up in the ring, but they showed a video package up there on the screen, and it was about Jack Perry. He went out to a field and unburied a casket, dragged out a casket, and at this point I'm thinking, are we going to see the Death Riders, or are we going to see Darby Allin? Maybe because Darby got put in the casket, but are they teaming up maybe? And then you see Luchasaurus on a stretcher, and they show who the doctor or the person was giving him the shot, and it was Jack Perry reviving Luchasaurus. And he showed up, the lights came back on, he showed up behind him, gave him choke slam, I believe it was, and you saw him get up, hug each other, and then he pointed to his waistband that said kill switch, and he pointed at it, he ripped it off, threw it into the crowd. That's a great souvenir for whoever got it. Everybody went crazy for it, hugged. They got up there, and their old theme started playing right away, which was incredible, because I was sitting there, I was like, are they going to do it? The crowd was waving their hands, they were singing along, they were loving it, and I was loving it sitting in my chair at home too, because I love this team, and I'm assuming they're going after the Young Bucks or somebody else, and then I don't know if they're going against Brodito yet, but they might, who knows, but I'm pretty sure they're going against the Bucks. They're going to do a rival between them two there. And next up here we do have the casket match, which was a great match. This was absolutely incredible. No complaints with this match here. A bunch of stuff was going on. My finger got in the way. I was kind of moving the camera around. But, yeah, a bunch of stuff was going on here. Danielson did stay at commentary. He didn't want to say what Darby told him, or what he told Darby, and different stuff like that. And match kept going. It was a great match. The Death Riders had a casket down on one side. Darby had a casket on the other side. The casket got beat all to pieces. The door was messed up. But you see, what he doesn't say what he would talk to Darby about, or what Darby talked to him about, but Darby's around the announce table, and he pulls out a bag from under the announce table and slides it to Darby, and it's a bag, a clear bag, and he's telling him to go do it. And we see him grab the bag and go in the ring and put it over Moxley's head and stuff like that. So that was pretty crazy to see. And yeah, I was not expecting that. But in the end, a bunch of stuff went on. The Death Riders came out there. Marina Shafir, I can't remember. I know they helped him get it in the ring. They took off the bottom rope, or they loosened it and helped him get a casket in the ring. Then Pac returns. He comes out there, and he cut his hair. I'm going to try to plug in a picture right here. But he had cut his hair. He looks absolutely crazy. I was not expecting it. I've been waiting on him for return, and he did. And it's incredible. I'm glad to see him back. But he took out Darby. He grabbed him and done a razor's edge to the outside over the ropes on top of the casket. It looked painful. But it was awesome to see. They do get him back in the ring. He puts him in the casket. He's about to shut it, and then he lets Moxley kick it shut. And they were able to pick up the win. And I figured Darby would win this match, so that's another prediction that I did not get right. Now, next up I did have to cut the camera right here because I forgot to set it up. This was backstage, or it was back in the parking lot, and we did see Jerry Lynn talking to Max Caster and Anthony Bowens trying to work to get them back together, and I'm all for it, trying to get these guys back together. I love the Acclaimed. I was kind of scared that they would end up getting fired on their singles run because, you know, as we know, WWE has done that. They've separated some teams and then fired them. I can't remember who they did that to, but I'm pretty sure they did that to somebody. Have to let me down in the comments below. Maybe I'm making it up. Maybe. So, I don't know. I can't remember. But, they're actually working to put them back together. And Jerry Lynn put them up in a tag match. He pulled some strings and he got them in a tag match with one another. Going against somebody. I'm pretty sure it was the guys. It was, I believe it's Blake Christian is his name. But they're going up against them. And that's going to be a great match. I'm pretty sure they're not going to work together. But who knows? They might get back together. I'm guessing it's going to be soon, hopefully. But here we go. The next match, I have some of their figures, but I was running out of room. Most of them are in box. I have a rare Jamie Hayter, one of 3,000. But it was Tony Storm versus the Spider Tekla. Versus Tony Storm versus Chris Statlander. And I did say that Chris Statlander would win, and she pulls it off. This was a great match. I had no complaints with this match. It was incredible. Absolutely loved every last minute of it. And I'm really excited to see what happens with the Death Riders. We did see Wheeler Yuta come out there and talk to her. She tells him to leave, you know, and that's all we've seen of him. But she does pick up the win on a roll-up, which was surprising. I was not expecting that. I don't think it was a long match as far as I remember. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was a shorter match, though. It wasn't too long. But yeah, Chris Statlander does pick up the win there. Tony Storm is really shocked. And then our last and final match here, we do have Kyle Fletcher versus Hangman Adam Page. And for the AEW World Championship, the TNT champion was not on the line. But if any of the Don Callis members got involved, then he would not only lose the match, Kyle Fletcher would not only lose the match, but he would be stripped of his TNT champion. So, of course, I figured they were introducing somebody new in the Don Callis family to help him, because they're not quite in the Don Callis family yet, so he wouldn't lose his belt. Or the ref would get taken out and Don Callis would do something. But none of that happened. It was a clean fight, which was really surprising. Danielson on commentary was funny. Seeing Danielson and Don Callis talk about the match was hilarious. I loved seeing Danielson on commentary. It was definitely the right decision to do. But we did see this was a great match. They used tables, which I thought it was going to be a regular match. It wasn't. But they only used tables. They used two of them. One, the timekeeper's area, and then the other one was right here on the outside. And he done a dead eye through this table, and Kyle Fletcher done an overhead throw. Or no, it was a brain buster onto the timekeeper's table. But it was a great match, no complaints. I don't know what Danny Meltzer rated any of these matches. I need to go and see. But I thought this was one of the better matches of the night. Y'all have to let me know what was y'all's favorite match of AEW All Out 2025. I'm excited to see if y'all guys even comment on the video. I hope you do. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Help this channel grow. I'm trying to get more subscribers, trying to get out there a little bit more and do different stuff. But I hope you like this video, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.